Welcome to Whiskers and Wishes, a special presentation of 13 News presented by People's Insurance Group.
Welcome to Helping Hands Humane Society. This is the second best home that your pet will have. In 2017, our wish is that all the animals get adopted and get into homes. We take in anywhere from 15 to 36 animals a day, and 7,000 animals a year. Some of these are strays and some are relinquished by their owners. Our number one priority is that the animals are reclaimed by their owners. At that point, if they're not reclaimed by their owners, then we do veterinary care, spaying, neutering, vaccinations, so that we can get them adopted. Here at Helping Hands Humane Society, we have training classes, and so we have dog training and agility. We also have our foster program. We do rely on the community quite a bit. One of the things would be volunteering, also through donations. We also have a wish list on our website. And so it's really important that the community helps support us so that there's always a place for these homeless animals to go.
When people first come in, they do, number one, they want to look at the animals and see if there's anybody they're interested in. If there is, they have to come up and fill out an adoption profile, which just entails their information and kind of their lifestyle and type of animal that they're looking for. Once they have the adoption profile filled out, they meet with an adoption counselor who asks them a few more questions about lifestyle and such, and then the people meet with the animal and they visit for as long as they like, and we just see if it's a good match and do a bit more discussion with them. The number one thing people need to think about is how much time do they have. If they're at work 12 hours a day and then come home and have to take care of the kids and get the kids places, maybe a puppy who does require a lot of time may not be the best choice for them. If they have a really active lifestyle, they might want to look at more of an active dog rather than, a dog that just wants to lay around and do nothing. But if they do have a slower lifestyle and they're just looking for definitely a companion in the household, they may want to look at an animal that's a little older or a little slower in energy and such. So the number one thing to look at is your lifestyle. How much time do you have? People also need to consider, honestly, finances. Can they afford to have a pet? People often don't think about how much is it going to cost to feed this animal. The bigger the dog, the more it's going to cost. The bigger the animal, the more expensive some of the vet care is going to be. And people need to keep in mind vet care. Animals need to for sure go to their veterinarian once a year just for basic vaccinations and health exams. And that costs. So people do need to think about medical care. What are they going to do in case of emergency? Do you have funds set aside to give that animal the emergency care it needs? The point to the whole process of adoption, of going through, filling out the form and meeting with the counselor, is to ensure that people understand that this is a lifetime commitment. We're not just adopting the animal, just to test it out, to see if we really want an animal, and a couple weeks later decide, it's not really fitting our lifestyle, we're too busy for this, to bring it back. People need to understand when you're adopting an animal from us or from any shelter, the expectation is that the people are going to keep that animal for the animal's lifetime. The best way for the animal to stay in the home, though, is to make sure that the animal matches people's lifestyle. Fees on our animals are based on the animal's age. On your dogs, they're ranging anywhere from $75 on up to $250 or $300. On our cats, cats are ranging anywhere from $25 to $75. Again, pricing is based on an animal's age. The older ones are going to be less expensive. The younger ones, because they're so popular, are going to be a little bit more expensive. The fees cover all the vaccinations. We do basic vaccinations and on everybody. If the animal is old enough, we do a rabies vaccination as well. It also covers the spay-neuter cost. And of course, I mean, it doesn't even come close to covering the cost of how much we invest in the animal and its daily stay here.
At Helping Hands, where the main focus is spays and neuters, and then also the population health of the whole population we have here as a whole. All of the adoptable animals, all the animals coming in, that's what we're responsible for all of that. So pretty much everything from when an animal comes in to being adopted by the people in the community. If it comes in as a stray, it stays a little bit of time. Hopefully, if it's a stray, the owners can come and claim it. There's a 3-day stray hold. After the stray hold is up and if nobody's claimed, then we go ahead and do a health check on them. And then if they're good to go for surgery, good candidates for surgery, we go ahead and spay or neuter them. And then we make sure they're healthy through along the way. And then after recovery, if everything is okay, then we can go ahead and put them up for adoption, and hopefully somebody in the community will come and adopt them and take them home as a forever pet. Every animal is going to be treated for vaccines, have rabies vaccines done, spayed, neutered. We do get some emergencies from animal control, like maybe an animal that was unfortunately hit by a car or something like that. And what we do is we assess the animals here. And then if it deems in need emergency surgery, and if the animal's in good health and is going to be able to, we think we can get that animal through. We do work with the community for emergency services and that type of things. I can do surgeries here also. The support from the donations from the community helps me do my job, helps me get these animals healthy, treat more animals, and do that type of stuff. So everything that the community has done for us and will continue to do is very, very thankful. We're very thankful for that, and I'm just really excited to be a part of this amazing team here at Helping Hands.
We can use volunteers in a variety of ways. We need volunteers to help with almost every step of the process of taking care of animals. And just if you're curious, you have to be at least 10 years old to volunteer with us, and if you're 10 to 15, you have to be with an adult. And then once you're 16, you can volunteer on your own. But we have lots of families who volunteer together, so a variety of ages. And volunteer activities range from socializing with the animals, which is the most popular, as you can imagine, but it extends to training the animals, grooming them, and then things that are not directly related to interacting with the animals, but are really helpful for their care, like doing the laundry for us, making sure they all have fresh water and toys every day, just keeping the building nice and clean, so it's an optimal place for people to come and adopt animals. And then of course, like every business, there's all kinds of paperwork and filing and things to keep everything in order to help get the most animals new homes or back to their original homes if they're lost, and to take care of them while they're here. As long as you are a self-motivated person who can figure out your schedule and how much you'd like to come in, and you're okay with coming in and possibly being the only volunteer, or coming in and possibly having 20 other volunteers here at the same time, it's a good program for you. Because you can come in anytime that we're open. We're open 7 days a week. We only have short hours on Sundays from 1 to 5, but every other day is 11:30 to 6, and volunteers can come and go anytime in those hours to help the animals. Basically, we could not function if we didn't have our volunteers anymore. If one day they all disappeared, they all were too busy to come in, our animals would be very sad. We do have staff to make sure, of course, that they have their food and water, medication every day, but socializing an animal is just as vital as all of those needs. So if you like cats, dogs, pocket pets, if you like to focus on the small animals, we have opportunities for socializing and training and making them more comfortable at the shelter. And most people who volunteer with us love animals, that's why they do it. So you do get to see a lot of animals and interact with a lot of animals and see firsthand how your volunteering helps them live a better life and get a second chance at a new home.
We offer the foster care program here at Helping Hands for mostly moms and kittens, kittens that are under 2 pounds, moms and puppies, or puppies that are too young to be sterilized. We do have some behavioral cases that we need help with, mostly dogs that are kind of too shut down or just need that extra socialization. We do have a lot, and we certainly need more bottle feds, what we call bottle feds. So the kittens that come in without a mama or puppies, those need a lot more care, and they need to be bottle fed usually about every 2 to 3 hours until they're old enough to eat on their own. We have foster orientations that are the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of every month at 6:30 here at the shelter, that they have to go through about an hour orientation, and then I do a home visit, and it's a once a year $10 license fee because you are licensed with the state of Kansas. And then we get you signed up and get you going. Currently, we have about 48 licensed fosters with the shelter, and there are about 60 animals in foster now, but we generally run 80 to 100, so it's crucial. You know, it helps the space here. The adoption rate, I can't say enough, is so incredible. These animals that have been in foster, they're just so much more adoptable. So we'd love to have more folks sign up. So in addition to our foster care program, the traditional foster care, we also offer hospice, which is our little homemade word for fostering, and hospice. So we get wonderful, precious little babies in like this. This is Ellie. Ellie came in as a stray, and when the vet did her vet check, we noticed Ellie wasn't feeling good and that she had lots of enlarged lymph nodes. And so with x-rays and diagnosis, she was sort of full of cancer. But we found a wonderful lady that would take her into her home, and she has taken really great care of her while she's been in her home, and will stay there until the end of her time. So what we look for the hospice families are terminal cases, or dogs that are usually pretty senior in their years. We saw these wonderful animals and decided that instead of euthanizing them, that we would have folks take them into their home and let them finish out their lives in a normal setting. And they could have a month, they could have 6 months, a year. We want to give them the best ending to their life as they deserve.
The mobile adoption unit is basically a giant driving billboard. It does have adoptable animals on it, and we take it to different events around Topeka, and we've even been to Manhattan. So the point of the mobile adoption unit is to kind of go to areas that maybe aren't around 21st and Bell, where our Helping Hands main headquarters is. So that way, you know, people that don't really get out that much have the opportunity to kind of get in a mobile adoption unit and feel a little bit more cozy and see those long-term residents that maybe don't have such a great chance at the shelter. You know, there's so many cats that sometimes just seeing 6 or 7 narrows that down for them, and people just want that one on the mobile adoption units. If you fall in love with an animal that you see, you know, if a dog's walking around, you have to have that one, you can do it right on board. Exactly the same process. You fill out a profile, I go over it with you and kind of ask you questions based on if you rent or own your home, what kind of animal you're looking for, so I can help pick the best match for you. It's just a really cozy atmosphere. There's couches, and they can expect to see dogs, cats, volunteers. Children of volunteers really like to stay inside and, you know, have fun with the kittens and cats that are on board. It's been really, really successful. Just in the past 2 months, we've done over 30 adoptions off of it alone. We reach out to the community, and the community reaches out to us. So if you are interested and you have an event that you think would be really great for the mobile adoption unit, just give the shelter a call and ask for Kelsey.
are very fortunate at Helping Hands. We have been a charity in the community for 80 years, and it's a well-known charity. It's one that gets a lot of attention because our clients can't talk, so we have to become their spokesperson for them. When we moved into this building, we really didn't have any idea what the expenses would run. And what we've discovered is that they run upwards of between $1.6 million and $1.8 million annually. We've done some things to help us ensure the health of the animals, like the air handling system in the building. There are 28 units on the roof that run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that filter that air. And that costs money. The light bill, electric bill in the shelter runs about $130,000 to $140,000 annually. So those donations become very critical because it's not any more than turning on the lights, it's taking care of those animals on a day-to-day basis. As you've heard, some 8,000 a year, or close to 8,000 a year, land at our doorstep. We don't go out and pick them up. They come either from someone that has to give them up or through animal control in our city and county. So it's critical that those donations do come in. We're very fortunate the community throughout the year does contribute, and we, like many of the charities in the city, have local events. Bon Appetit and Paws in the Park are our two biggies. And the community does support those, and it's critical to keep that support going because it does make a difference. It makes a difference every day. And it doesn't have to be the large $1,000 gifts, although those are very nice. $25 will make a large difference. Every animal that comes into the shelter is vaccinated upon admission, and $25 will help us pay for that. Every animal that is here is spayed and neutered, and those costs run upwards of about $100 per dog or cat. And so those 10s and 20s will make a difference because 10 of those will pay for a spay and neuter inside the shelter. And we have to do that before the animal is put on the floor for adoption. It is a state requirement that all animals adopted from the shelter must be spayed or neutered. I would love to say thank you to Northeast Kansas for remembering Helping Hands annually, thinking about us in your will and bequest, and it just makes a huge difference.
Helping Hands Humane Society really appreciates the support of our donors and all those people that sacrifice their time, their talent, and their treasure to care for the animals at the Helping Hands Humane Society. Thank you.
Thank you for watching Whiskers and Wishes, Helping Hands for the Holidays, a special presentation by People's Insurance Group.